Okay, so this is question number 2. Given that a is equal to -1, b is equal to 2, c is equal to -3, find the value of a positive b positive c. Now this is a very important question. You might think that this is an easy question, but there is a huge concept that is present in this question. Okay, the concept is when these variables a, b, c are assigned the values, what happens to the sum of this expression? So that is required. Now we are living in the age of intelligence. Okay, so we have sophisticated machines being developed. Now these machines work based on inputs. Okay, so what input should you give so that you are obtaining the output? That is the basic functionality, how the machines are working. Okay, so these are the inputs that you're feeding in, and you have to know the output. Before you design anything, you have to hard code it, meaning you have to manually figure out what is the outcome, because that outcome will be compared to the actual output that you are getting. So having mentioned that information, let me just move on in solving this question. So this is going to be a takes the value -1, b takes the value 2, and c takes the value -3. So this is -1, +2, -3. I add the negatives first. So -3 with the -1 will give me -4. Then I add the positive value of 2. -4 added with +2 will give me -2. So therefore a added with b positive c will give me -2 for a is equal to -1, b is equal to 2, and c is equal to -3. Okay, so that is the conclusion for this particular question. Okay, so having got that, let's move on to the next one. Now next they are asking us, this is part 2, this is part 1, to evaluate b squared negative c squared. Now this is straightforward, just substitute the values. So b is 2 and c is -3. So you square this, you get 4, you square this, you get 9. So 4 negative 9 is -5. So therefore b squared negative c squared is -5. So you box the result. So that concludes the solution for this question. Okay, now this is another important question. Now they are representing the expression by the language. Okay, so write the following phrases as algebraic expression, right? So 7 times the sum of x and y. So you have to visualize this. See, we are living in the age of large language models. So everything you communicate to the system is based on language. But behind the language, there is an algorithm that is working. And this algorithm will queue in instructions. And that queued instructions will be executed via the program, the code that will be listening. So this is the language that is sent as the input, but this language has to be converted for the expression to be calculated, because every expression, everything that you feed into the system, it has to produce a value, a numerical quantity, and based on the numerical quantity we draw inferences. So that is the understanding. So having mentioned that, so this is a beautiful question. In fact, it says 7 times the sum of x positive x and y means what? So this means the algebraic, okay, the algebraic expression is 7 times the sum of, so 7 multiplied, product multiplied with the sum of x and y. X and y means x positive y. So this is the exact solution for this question. Okay, so let me move on. So having given you that, let me move on to the next part of the question. So the next part of the question is, this is the question they are asking us. The product, you will have to give the mathematical equivalent. The product of two consecutive numbers when the smaller number is y. Okay, so what we have been given the number, so this is a smaller number, two consecutive numbers. So let me take given the number being equal to y, the consecutive number being equal to y positive 1, the product, so therefore the required algebraic expression is going to be y multiplied with y positive 1. Okay, so you can also, for those of you who are wondering why y is written like this, you can just rewrite it like this, y times y positive 1. Okay, so that is the solution for this question. Having given you that, let me move on to part C. Now in part C, what they are asking us is solve the pair of simultaneous equations. So you have 2x positive y is equal to 7, and then x negative y is equal to 1. Now remember, simultaneous linear equations have lot of applications. Now if someone were to ask me what is the meaning of this, okay, so I can interpret it like this. See, x has some value, right? So that value is actually multiplied with 2, and the value of y is added, and this is producing a 7. So take it like this. Now the question is, let me assume that this is the input that goes into the business. Okay, this is the input that goes into the business. Okay, x is bringing some amount of money, and that money is multiplied 2 times. So that means this is going to be the total input from the x direction, and this is the input from the y direction, and this is the output that the business is producing. Now the question is, with this as the input, say the business is producing making a profit of say 300. Now the all important point comes here is, how much should we give to x? Now we can know how much we can give to x only if we know what is the value of x. Okay, so that is a simple example why we need to solve these systems. So when you go into the field of economics, this is a constant scenario, right? Or banking or finance, all these things are all involving how much people bring in and how much they should get. So that is a simple application I want to give you at this moment. Now we have to solve this. So how do I solve it? There are two ways to solve it. So first, you multiply. I'm going to show you just one method because of the interest of time. Question, or I would say equation 2, I can multiply by 2, get rid of the x there. So eliminating, or you can use the word solving for x, we get. So equation 1 is multiplied by 1, equation 2 is multiplied by 2. So this is going to be 2 times x positive y is equal to 7, and 2 times x negative 2 times y is equal to 2, and you add these two things. So if I were to add, see, you have a positive sign, you positive sign. So when I say add, it means I'm actually changing the sign. So you have a positive here, I change the sign to negative. I have a negative here, I change it to positive. I have a positive, change it to negative. So 2x gets cancelled. Positive y added with positive 2y, that's going to give me 3y. Here 7, from 7 you take away 2, that's going to give me 5. So therefore you have y to be equal to 5 over 3. So this is what you're getting for y. Okay, now after you got the value of y, what I'm going to do, I'm going to substitute y is equal to 5 over 3 into we get. So this is going to be x negative of 5 over 3 is equal to 1. You move this to the other side, you get x is equal to 1 positive 5 over 3. The LCM is 3. 3 into 1 is 3. Added with 5, you get 8 over 3. So therefore x is equal to 8 over 3. Now you can perform the check. Okay. So if I were to substitute the value of x 2 times of x 8 over 3 added with y, it is 5 over 3, I should get the right hand side. Okay, so this is going to be LCM is 7, 8 times 2 is 16 added with 5. So this is going to give me 21 divided by 3. 3 divides 21 7 times, which is equal to the right hand side. Therefore the check is true. Okay, so what you can do is the solution is x is equal to 8 over 3 and y is equal to 5 over 3. You box this. Now I have produced one variation of this question. There can be any number of variations that the question can be asked. So that is the conclusion for this question. So we will move on. So the next part is part D. They are asking us to factorize completely 4 times y squared negative z squared. Now this is of the form, what is the form? This is of the form, the most popular formula, a squared negative b squared. Now this is a formula which is a negative b multiplied with a positive b. So therefore 4 times y squared negative z squared, I can rewrite this as 2y raised to the power of 2 negative z raised to the power of 2, which is rewritten as 2y negative z multiplied with 2y positive z. Okay, so hence what we have got, 4 times y squared negative z squared is equal to 2 times y negative z multiplied with 2 times y positive z. Okay, that is z there. So that is the solution for this question. So that completes. So you can either write it as 2y positive z times 2y negative z or 2y negative z times 2y positive z. Now what do you call this formula? This is called as difference of two squares. Okay, what is the formula called? The formula called as difference of two squares. Okay, remember that. Sometimes they may even ask you. So next part is we have to factorize 2ax negative 2ay negative bx positive by. Now how do we factorize? Always look for like terms. The variable is x, so club it with bx. So this is 2ax negative bx, that's one part. I'm going to write this as positive by negative 2 times ay. Okay, so now what we can do here is, so we have the x part. If I were to take this as x part, this is going to be the outcome, x of 2a negative b positive. If I were to take the y part, y of b negative 2a. Okay, now clearly you see here 2a negative b and b negative 2a. So what we can do is we can bring a negative sign out. If I bring a negative sign out, the positive b will become negative b, positive 2a will become negative, or I would say negative will become positive here. This will become positive. So positive b will become negative, negative 2a will become positive. Okay, so this is equal to x of 2a negative b, right? Now I can rewrite this one step more. So this can be rewritten as 2a negative b, and this can be followed it as it is. So x of 2a negative b. So this is what we got. So clearly you can see the constants are one and the same. So we can take them out. So 2a negative b can be taken out. So you get x negative y. So this is a standard way to solve it. So what are the steps I followed here? I spotted the variable, then what did I do? Step 1. Step 2 is I clubbed them together. Okay, clubbed them together. Then what did I do? After clubbing them together, I took out the common factor. And then basic simplification. So I did all of these things. Okay, now take these things very seriously, because these are the things that are applied in today's world of machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning. All these things have applications rooted in these concepts. Okay, so having mentioned you this, let me move on to the next one. So the next one is factorization. So this is part 3, factorization. 3x squared positive 10x negative 8. Now you can directly use quadratic. Okay, if you don't want to use the quadratic, then what you have to do is you will have to rewrite this 10x as a quantity which 3 can divide. So I'm going to rewrite this 10x as 12x. That is the basic idea. Okay, so if I were to write 10x as 12x, I need to remove 2x followed by 8, so that I have a 3x squared, or I would say 3 dividing this 12. If I do this, then I can take 3x as a common factor. That would leave me with x positive. Okay, x positive, 3 divides here 4 times. Right, so this is what I got. Now I take the negative sign out and I take the 2 out. If I were to take negative 2 out, I will get a x, and this will also have a negative, so this should be positive there. Okay, now the check is you should get the same factors on both sides. If not, then you will have to suitably choose the number. Now, having mentioned to you that in most of the cases you will be having an easy go here, right? Because this section wants you to do it in this fashion in most of the cases. But in reality, that will not be the situation that you will encounter. In real life state, you will have to use quadratic technique. Okay, quadratic technique to solve and find the values of x. But over here, you will have a easy go. That means you will be able to find and locate the number, so that you are arriving at this juncture. Okay, so having mentioned that, we can take x positive 4 out. So if you take x positive 4 out, you will get 3x negative 2. So this is the factored form. You can either write it like this, or you can write it like 3x negative 2 times x positive 4. Okay, so either this or this. So that is the conclusion for this question. So we have completed that. Now we will move on to question number 3.